What's up, junkies? Welcome in for edition of Pigskin Junkies. Not another edition was taken out of the opening sentence there because it has been 2 weeks since it has been another edition of Pigskin Junkies, but here it is.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
Yeah, I feel like I should do the intro song. It's Back in Black. I'll put it in right there. But myself, Michael Larson, Big Brother Jared Larson, the Scott Panza, here to talk a little bit of free agency in the NFL and kind of how that's affecting, like Scott was saying before we started recording, these future bets, i.e. the Cleveland Browns. A lot of people climbing on that bandwagon. But we'll kind of talk about big free agent splashes, who all we thought are just some interesting spots, and dive into kind of some futures, and then we will, of course, talk about our favorite league, the AAF, which has been about as relevant as our podcast has been these past 2 weeks. So we'll dive into all that. Thank you. Like I said, the podcast juice is flowing. I had a couple old fashions for happy hour.
Well, I have a really good. I have a hot take for an NFL franchise.
Let's hear it.
I'm super excited to talk about it.
Okay, you're wanting to save it?
Yeah. Let's save it. Let's save it before we get to the games.
Big teaser. Big teaser. So.
It's a podcast, dude. They can just fast forward.
I know. And then come back.
Not like listen to this commercial and then we'll have it for you live.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You can just skip ahead.
For later before we get to our AAF best bets. But got some juices flowing.
Yeah.
About AAF to the NFL.
Scott learned the podcast professionalism way faster than I did, Mike. I like transitions, teasers. Still have no clue what these things are.
So NFL free agency in full swing here. If you go on Twitter or anything, it feels like every 2 seconds there's some big name going somewhere. Steelers, obviously, the ones making big splashes with big names. Le'Veon Bell signing with the Jets. Antonio Brown being traded to the Oakland Raiders. Some big stuff there. I mean, how do you guys see this playing out for Pittsburgh?
Scott, I'll let you take it from the jump.
I'm buying Pittsburgh Steelers stock today. I am buying Pittsburgh Steelers stock today because people are selling. And I'll tell you why. This is a classic case of they move distractions out of the building. And now they're going to be a supremely motivated team. This is going to be a Big Ben motivated offseason, a Mike Tomlin motivated offseason. What receiver did they just bring in as well? They just brought a speed guy in. Oh, Dante Moncrief. Moncrief. Yep. Another guy who's going to be on a short contract who has been in and out of bad situations for himself. Now he's getting the keys. They got Juju in the slot. They're going to have Dante and James Washington on the outside. The Steelers have always been a good drafting team, so they have draft picks this year. They got the distractions out of the way. There's a lot of guys in that locker room that are going to say, let's go prove all these people wrong. They still have James Conner. They still have Jalen Samuels. They had talent there. Losing AB, it hurts, but now it's just time for other guys to step up. I am buying Steelers stock. I'm buying them to win that division next year. Now, it's just a matter of what price is it going to be at and how much is the market going to move on the Browns. The Ravens got decimated. Total seller Ravens now. And the Bengals are just nothing to even be concerned about.
Yeah, that's true.
Bungles. I agree with Scott. You go ahead, Micah.
No. I was going to ask you what you thought, Jared. If not, I was going to move on to another team.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Le'Veon Bell didn't play for the Steelers at all last year, and they were fine. James Conner, I forgot the name of the other guy that came in after James Conner got hurt. The production is there from the running back position. Obviously, losing Antonio Brown hurts, but Scott already mentioned it, Juju Smith-Schuster, and you got Big Ben pulling the trigger. So this is a garbage division. I agree with Scott. I think the Ravens were good. But very puzzled by some of the moves that they made or didn't make, depending on how you look at it, both ways, candidly. So don't think they'll be able to repeat what they did last year. Plus, from what I've seen, Lamar Jackson is the second coming of Robert Griffin. just run, and wasn't able to pass. So unless that changes year over year, I think you'll see significant regression from them. Our boys, the Bungles, new coach, Andy Dalton quarterback, not sold. Browns certainly improved, but I don't think ready to challenge the Steelers for the division. So I still think I agree with Scott. I think the Steelers should be fairly significant favorites to win the division. I don't see anything yet, but I wouldn't be buying them to win the Super Bowl, but especially in the AFC. But I certainly think they should be the favorites to win the AFC North.
Yeah, I think both of you hit the nail on the head there. Getting rid of distractions, and you still have a good core nucleus. It'll be interesting to see what Juju Smith is able to do as the number one receiver, because it's a lot different when you're lining up with a top 3 receiver in the league currently who's going to require a double team every single time he goes out there. So you are guaranteed one-on-one coverage. So he's gonna have to work for it a little bit more. So we'll see what happens there. So I guess we'll stay in division. Obviously, big news with the Cleveland Browns. Odell Beckham Jr. getting traded from the Browns or from the Giants over to the Browns. Another example of just a guy being very vocal about not being happy, I guess, in New York. So he gets traded to Cleveland, which went from, I feel like last year, especially with Hugh Jackson still as a head coach, was still the laughing stock of the NFL. And now this year it's like, oh, shoot. Now there might be a little bit of overreaction because you still have a sophomore, per se, quarterback that will be throwing the ball to Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. And if Jared's favorite LSU quarterback, Zach Mettenberger, couldn't get it done with those two at LSU, we'll see what Big is able to do against NFL teams. So I guess, Scott, you hit the nail on the head but when we were talking before we went on the air about the money or kind of what the lines were for the futures. I'll let you dive into that a little bit more.
So Browns, I saw today, 10-1 to win the Super Bowl. And if the laws of the United States would allow it, I would love to lay that action all day.
I would
sell
lay that
bet
for my bank account.
I'll tell you.
Any listeners that want it, hit and slide in the DMs.
I love what they did. It's super exciting. They're going to be amazingly fun team to watch, have on your fantasy team. I think the NFL should also have the Pats, have the Browns at home next year. That should be the first game of the year. Pats, Browns, all eyes would be on that. Baker Mayfield, OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, although Kareem Hunt probably won't be playing. Inject this team into my veins. They are going to be awesome to watch. But they have Freddie Kitchens, who's never been a head coach before. So that's a massive learning curve that you're going to have to go up and make big. Now you're responsible for making the game time big decisions, managing a locker room that has a lot of diverse personalities. What happens the first sign that the Browns go, 2-2 and Baker Mayfield's throwing picks and OBJ is not getting, his 15 targets? How is Freddie Kitchens going to handle that? So he's just not used to you're the person that has to make all these decisions. So there's a lot of big personalities in that locker room. I think they're going to be a very good team. They're going to be super exciting. They'll make the playoffs. But Super Bowl, they're getting to the Super Bowl. Look who else is in the AFC. There's a ton of – the Colts have a stockpile of cash. They're ready to rock and roll. You still have the Chargers. You have the Chiefs. You have the Pats. And you have the Steelers. You have to overcome all those teams, and you're getting 10-1. It's a terrible number. I'd lay it all day. I'd sell that bet. I would not be buying Browns to win the Super Bowl stock right now.
Yeah, I agree. Scott alluded to it. Unfortunately, the laws of this country in any state do not allow you to lay a bet. But the implied probability based on that bet is that the Browns are going to win 10% of the Super Bowls in the upcoming season, and that just could not be any further from the truth. You have a new coach. You have a sophomore quarterback. Now, I do think that this is a great foundation upon which they can build. Mm-hmm. Look at what Seattle was able to do with a good defense, a good quarterback, a rookie deal. You can put some guys around him. That the blueprint has been built, and Cleveland has been able to follow it to a T. Unfortunately for them, Hugh Jackson was their coach for whatever it was, like 36 games, so nobody really knew. But, Odell Beckham Jr. for, was it a first, a third, and Peppers is an absolute steal, in my opinion. And him and Baker, I think, are going to take a little while to figure out each other. But then when they get rolling, I think it's going to be baller central. So I'm with Scott. I'm not concerned about the players, but I am. There's a lot of question marks around Freddie Kitchens. And look, maybe he's a guy who knows what he's doing, and he's really good. And again, the foundation is solid. The question is, where do they go here? And look, I would expect for them to compete for the division in the years ahead. I just don't think this is the year. I think people are jumping the gun a little bit just based on some of the names and some of the sizzle from the position players that they brought over.
At the end of the day, you're still the Cleveland Browns.
Show me.
Yeah, exactly. This is it, and it's my favorite time of year because it's hypothetical football. Okay. Yeah, you put them out on the field, and they have a lot of talent. But at the end of the day, as everyone on this podcast and everyone who watches football knows, it's not always about Jimmys and Joes. It can be about X's and O's. So
you play to win the game.
That's true, Mr. Cover that spread, Herm Edwards. God, I can't wait to be talking college football again. Sorry, Scott.
Beast.
But we'll keep it. Other huge trade news, obviously another star wide receiver who's up there with Odell Beckham Jr., and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about previously, and it is Chucky getting himself a star receiver after trading away Amari Cooper to the Dallas Cowboys, and the Cowboys just seem to rub it in their face that they got Amari Cooper, and then they're like, hey, we got Antonio Brown for pretty much the dirt that's underneath my feet. They kept all their first-round picks. Do you think this will be a good match, or do you think him and Chucky will butt heads?
It's still up to Derek Carr to deliver that pigskin into AB. AB got paid, so I'm curious to see if he's going to be as focused and dedicated, post-payment. And also, how is he going to get along with Derek Carr? Because I didn't think John Gruden really wanted Derek Carr to be his quarterback that much longer. And maybe they go out and make a draft day trade to go bring in, move up to get the number one pick, get Kyler Murray, ship Derek Carr out, and the Cardinals are just driving up the price by making it seem like they love Kyler Murray. Maybe that's not beyond the realm of possibility. I don't know. I'm not the Raiders have a ton of picks. It seems like they're caught in between wanting to win now and rebuilding for the future. And maybe they think that they have enough pieces to go, use all the draft capital, draft a roster this year, and they think they can go compete in the next 2 years in the AFC. I think they're going to have a super low win total for the upcoming season. There's actually probably going to be some value on them this year. But, a lot of it remains to be seen, and there's also some talk that maybe they can't pay certain players because they actually don't have any cash. At least they got their, stadium settled for this year, so at least, they're not playing with total question marks everywhere. But, I don't know I don't know what they're doing because they're getting AB, which essentially they traded Amari to build for the future, and then you bring in a win now guy. It's kind of like what the Giants did today with Golden Tate. Why pay Golden Tate if you're just resigned to tanking because you just shift out OBJ and you have no offensive talent and you're starting Eli? So it's what are they doing? Why are they paying Golden Tate all this money? Why are the Raiders going to get AB? Do they really think they're going to compete in the AFC West? I don't know. There's probably going to be some value on them this year, though, if they have a super low win total. Because maybe they'll sneak by and have a 7-9 year because their schedule's going to be super weak.
Yeah, I would agree. No, I mean, Antonio Brown's really good. He got paid. He's out of Pittsburgh, so I would expect some level of chip on his shoulder. I just don't know that I trust Derek Carr to deliver him the ball. That's what it's going to really boil down to for me. Are they going to stick around in Oakland? Is that what did I read that, Scott?
Yeah, they got Oakland this year and then Vegas next.
Then Vegas next year, yep.
One more year in Oakland. So
and then we're for sure going to a Raiders game.
It's going to be lit. Yeah, and I mean, look at the division. Then they got to play KC twice. They got to play San Diego or LA twice. I wonder how long that will last. Like me in my head thinking that they're the San Diego Chargers, not the LA Chargers. Like,
talk about another
two
thing I don't get. Tyrod Taylor. Why is Tyrod and Bridgewater spurning the Dolphins to take backup jobs? Is Mike Tannenbaum that bad?
Because they don't want to get their shit pushed in, playing for the Dolphins.
No one wants to play the Pats. Nobody wants to live in Miami and travel to Buffalo, New England, and
New York.
In New York in the winter. No one wants to do that. No one wants to.
I don't. The Dolphins' offensive line is terrible. I mean, I don't know what these guys' contracts are going to be for backups, but it's got to be better. I mean, make a couple extra $1 million and get your teeth kicked in.
Yeah, I guess. I'd love to be a backup in the NFL. We talk about it all the time. I feel like that's the best job in the world. I mean, now obviously you want to be a starting. Yeah, obviously, these guys are all competitors, so they want to be the starting quarterback. But at the end of the day, being a backup isn't like the worst gig in the world.
I was listening to the Russillo podcast today, and he's doing this on the Ringer, and he's doing this like backup quarterback thing where he interviews them. And first one was Drew Henson, and the second one was none other than Danny Cannell, my Danny hot take clickbait Cannell. But Cannell was talking about like, yeah, I kind of liked being a backup quarterback in Denver. Like I got a good paycheck, kind of hung out with my buddy Jake Plummer. And got paid. So I'm like, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
But whatever.
You got to try and be a backup for 10 years. So, if you're going to get to the point where you get your pension, you're going to have to do something at some point, like play something.
Yeah. Well, you're in garbage time. So, it's not like you're going up against the best of the best either.
Yeah. But, or you could be like the Matt Castle where you come in and just like ride that gravy train for forever. I'm trying to think of other huge. There was one.
C.J. Mosley with the Jets. Yeah. Le'Veon Bell with the Jets.
With the Jets, that's what I was going to go to. I was going to talk about. The
that
Jets.
whole Jets spent a lot of money, and that whole thing got just sideways. I was reading about it earlier today, and I can't quote the numbers, but if you look at like what Bell was going to get paid if he took the franchise tag and then signed whatever the offer was with the Steelers, he would have got paid exponentially more. Because what did he sign? 4 years, I think 52 with 20-something guaranteed. I think I said it on a podcast earlier this year. The guy got bad information. Someone got in his ear, told him he should sit out. Bad idea. Get your money. Take the franchise tag. Or at least, I don't understand the NFL cap well enough, but I just look at it and say, okay, these are your prime earning years. You can do 15 times 3-ish. You're going to get $45 million.
Yeah, especially as a running back in the NFL. And the shelf life for them keeps getting lower and lower. So, my favorite thing, and obviously I'm a little bit of a homer on this, but when it comes to the Jets signings, was the Anthony Barr situation. And all the memes that I saw on Viking fan pages, it was like this one it was Zimmer's face photoshopped from, I can't remember the movie, but where the guy is standing outside with a huge boob box, like playing the music outside the window, and like that huge trench coat. It's like a very famous scene. I can't remember what movie it is.
I know, with, what's his name?
Michael watches movies. I don't watch movies.
He's from Hot Tub Time Machine. I know he's in way more movies than Hot Tub Time Machine, but that's the movie I'm picturing in my head.
So it was
Kevin,
like Zimmer.
Not Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. Kevin
Spacey.
But I thought it was hysterical that Barr, and someone brought this up too. So that's 2 years in a row.
John Cusack.
There you go. Nice.
There it is. Nicely done, Scott.
So back-to-back years, where the Jets have offered someone more money than the Vikings have, and they chose the Vikings over the New York Jets. Now, Barr even was like committed and was about to fly out there, but homeboy got cold feet and said, no, I'm going to stay here.
I think the Vikings overpaid for him.
I don't know. I think he's I think he's a really good linebacker. I agree. Do I think they may have paid a little bit more? It's just so hard because the money in the NFL continues to just go up, and up. Like Kirk Cousins' contract yes, it looks brutal, and he's like the top 5 paid quarterback in the NFL. But in like 3 years, he's going to be like the 15th highest paid quarterback.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's like a rotating. They just one is bad, it looks bad, and then it progressively looks better as time goes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, I mean, whatever. It's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm. And Everson Griffin restructured his contract. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on up in Minnesota, but everyone's taking less money, and I'm kind of all for it.
I can't wait to bet them in any 1 o'clock game that they are up against 8 other games, and it's not national television. That is where Kirk Cousins comes to shine.
Sure, right.
But those prime timers, that's not.
Can't wait. I was gonna say, and can't wait to fade when they are playing on Sunday nights.
Yeah, Latavius.
They'll be stacked again. I mean, they're loaded.
Yeah, I mean, Latavius Murray leaving hurts, so it'll be interesting to see who they bring in, whether they go to the draft or free agency.
I don't get that deal for the Saints. I don't know why, given what Mark Ingram just got, why not just bring back Ingram? Versus Murray.
A lot of the running back deals didn't make any sense to me.
No.
Money didn't make any sense. Years didn't make any sense.
Yeah, 4 years for Latavius Murray, you needed to lock him up that long?
I think he's 30. It just came like a Jerick McKinnon deal last year with the 49ers. I'm like, what is going on? Adrian Peterson?
Tevin Coleman gets two years for $10 million.
Yeah.
I love the deal for the Niners. That's good. That's just they don't have any receivers though. They got burned on every receiver in the market. Right now they're stuck with Pettis, Goodwin, and they signed some schmo just today.
Goodwin's all right.
Yeah, but
I mean, dude, when you have C.J. Beathard spinning it out there, that's going to make not a lot of the receivers look very good.
The great name was C.J. Beathard.
Right? C.J. Beathard, George Kittle to Iowa right there.
Yeah.
FYI, Scott, I'm going deep in the archives.
Iowa's got all the tight ends this year.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkinson and what's the Noah Fant.
Micah, did you see your boy Thielen playing in the Pro-Am at Bay Hill?
Yeah. He posted a picture literally right outside your house. I tried to DM him, and I was like, dude, are you going to be here? Because I will find you, and I will
Please
give you a
come
hug.
over.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah. And
it seems like all the good teams in NFL have been really quiet this week. So, a lot of money
Jets
is
very
being spent
busy.
in dumb
Titans
places.
very busy.
Pat's getting Michael Bennett.
Niners very busy.
My favorite quote this week. So Adam Humphries was being interviewed today. He was talking about signing with the Titans, how the Patriots are making a last-ditch effort to grab him. He's like, yeah, I know they have a lot of success like with guys like me. And it was just music to my ears because they were trying to bring in Cole Beasley. So the Patriots are just cornering the speedy slot white market and just got burned by everyone. But I actually really like what they did today. They signed Mo Harris from the Skins, 6'3" guy. I think he's going to be good on the outside. And they brought in Bruce Ellington.
Jordy
Nelson just got released too. Put that one on your radar.
Yeah. He's old.
White slot guy. Bring him in. Auto lock.
Amendola burned us. I thought he was going to come back. And then we re-signed Brissett. So.
Yeah, Jordy's a lock to have the Raiders pay for him to play for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yep. Honey Badger got a big payout as well.
Yeah, I did. I think he's good, though.
So didn't you guys lose Sendejo in Minnesota?
I believe so.
So
Eric Berry's out there. I was going to say Eric Berry.
Halle Berry.
They actually, that was their thing, right?
Yes.
When I went there?
Mm-hmm.
So, Scott, we went to Neyland Stadium, which is University of Tennessee, which is where Eric Berry went to school. And the team was such shit. But Eric Berry was, like, obviously himself, an all-star. Yeah. And there was a Halle Berry song, and they changed the entire team's intro video was just Eric Berry to that tune. And then the whole team came out. I'm like, yeah, everybody runs to the tee after like, hey, we have this one really good player. and we waxed their ass by like 40.
So
can I get to?
Oh, go ahead, Scott. Yep.
No. After you, Micah.
Oh, I was gonna say, we'll do one last question. I know you got your thing, but not huge free agency signing that's going to make a big difference. Go. Everyone's got to have one off the top of your head. Real deep. Dig. Crafty free agent sign.
I like Dante Moncrief to the Steelers. I think he's going to be a difference maker there. I think he's finally going to be in a good spot where a quarterback can actually deliver him the pigskin.
Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name. He's a tackle for the Panthers. They signed him to a 1-year deal for like $6 million because he was hurt last year. I think he was an All-Pro like the year before that. Guy's obviously betting on himself, but Panthers signed a guard and a tackle both that I think should help. I mean, the question is whether or not Cam's going to play, but significantly improve their offensive line.
Yeah, I agree. The one person I forgot to mention in here was Big Dick Nick going to where everyone thought he was going to go.
Yeah.
Going out of the Jags.
Who were they bidding against?
Nobody.
Themselves. Yeah.
Shad Khan was bidding against himself.
The one signing I would really liked actually was Gore going to Buffalo. I feel like that's just kind of
dude. He's got to have money problems. He's got to. There's no other solution.
Football. I love that team. I love this Buffalo team. I know. It was all about him last year. I love this team. I can't wait
Nobody's
to see
gonna
play football next year. That's going to be a squad to deal with. I think they're making the playoffs.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Circles the wagon.
Circles those wagons.
How about
$2 million? Yeah.
The Redskins in 3 years will have had 3 quarterbacks that are essentially the exact same person.
Oh yeah, that's another team that just doesn't know what they're building for. Why? Case Keenum's going to be competent, and he's going to win the games.
Sucks. I told you guys this last year. He sucks.
I'm not.
Denver was
good.
what 6-10.
But the Skins are going to go win 7 games this year because he's going to be competent enough to get them wins when they should be tanking for Tua.
No, Tua will not be a good NFL quarterback. It's too small.
Well, I'm using that. They should just be building for the draft.
Yes.
Think for the draft.
Yeah, you're just using the buzz, the tanking for Tua like buzz.
It just rolls off the tongue.
It does. It really does.
So Scott, let's get to that teaser you had. Let's hear it.
I'll tell you, because segue into the AAF. Who's looked like an absolute stud in the AAF? And I'll tell you why Miami hasn't signed a quarterback, because they love this Gavin Gilbert that they see up the road in Orlando. So what are they going to do? They're waiting to the end of the AAF season. They are bringing in Gavin Gilbert so they can go 1-15, and they go for tanking for Tua. But that is the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins next year, Gavin Gilbert. And then with that, lay the absolute hammer on the over of every Apollos game this year. They got the hot shots coming into town. It's going to be beautiful weather. I love the over on the Apollos. Last week's the over-under was just so scary low. It was 34. I thought there was something wrong with the world against the Island. And, of course, they just torched it. So they got the hot shots coming into town. Hot shots are reeling right now. Give me Apollos lay on the over. Lay the points. Apollos. Gavin
Get on
Gilbert,
him, dude.
Miami Dolphins.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Developmental league.
He'll be on a roster. I mean, he'll definitely get signed by somebody. He was actually he started week 17 for the Panthers last year. So I wonder if he has some type of contract with them still, or how that all ended.
He was the starting quarterback
for the
in
Panthers in week 17 against the Saints. Yes, Garrett Gilbert.
Oh, really? It's not Gavin Gilbert?
Nope, that's.
No. I think I worked with a guy, Gavin Gilbert. That's why I said that. Garrett Gilbert.
Garrett Gilbert. It's okay. Freudian slip. It's all good. Yeah. I mean, now I don't know what his situation is. I mean, I doubt the Panthers would just release him to play in a league and play 10 games and get beat up. So maybe his contract is up, but yeah, he'll be on a roster next year, which is the point. And I think I've said it previously in this podcast. Spurrier wants to score 100 every game. So I'm just going to keep betting the over on the Apollos. 10 points is a lot, but if you're putting a gun to my head, I would lay it. I'll also be looking to fade the San Antonio Commanders over the next couple of weeks. They're 3-2, but actually have a negative point differential, points per game, negative differential, negative total, of course, throughout the course of the season. So that's a team that their record certainly says they're better than what they are. So I'd be looking to fade them.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the.
week
sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but they're playing the Legends this weekend.
Oh,
Are you sure about this?
I will watch I will watch 0 seconds of that game.
are you sure about this?
The Legends are garbage.
They're so bad.
What's
They're
the number?
so
Where
bad.
is it? At Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta. That raucous crowd.
5.
You're going nuts.
What's the number? 5.
No, the Commanders are getting 2, 1.5.
I would.
That's such a
no
gross
interest.
game.
Yeah, hard pass there.
I'd almost rather go to a Pop Warner game. I know that sounds
there's
horrible, but
There's
I'd
some
almost
Florida
rather
high
go.
school games I think I'd rather go to than that one.
But what I was going to say was I'm going to be at the Apollos game on Saturday, so I will be the first one on this
so
podcast
awesome.
that will be attending a AAF game.
Periscope, mandatory.
I'll take pictures. So I think the league's sponsored by Starter or Champion. I think one of those two.
Starter.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that was still a company.
I didn't either. Champion celebrating
Tony
like 100
Romo,
years,
duh.
I think. Yeah, duh. And Skechers with Matt Kuchar. But I'm definitely going to try and get some swag here. But they have starter jackets. I'm like, come on. But I live in Florida, so obviously
Just say you live in Florida. You don't
stupid
need a
investment.
jacket.
So I'm very excited.
Don't rub
So
it
I'll
into
be-
Scott. He's up there, teeth clattering, like freezing his balls off.
Oh, it's a touch of spring in the air now.
You can smell it. So I'll be betting everything Apollos. Like I said from week one, we kind of had all of our little things that we decided were going to be our habits for our bets each week in the AAF, and mine was to always bet the over, and I think that's been it's hit every single week.
Not last week.
It didn't hit last week. Okay,
Not against Salt Lake.
there we go. Oh, because
Yeah,
in
that
the
was the
snow.
one game.
Yeah,
Of course,
in the
it's
snow.
snowing, and that was the one game I tweeted out. We'd love
That
to
was
say
2 weeks.
that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Last week was
Yeah,
Birmingham.
last week.
yeah. And they did. I think they covered that one. They won. I know that.
They
that's
did.
great.
They covered over, juiced it up.
Juice. So I'm very excited to go. I think it'll be a fun experience. Ticket prices were not what I was expecting, especially for
Good or
something that
bad?
is struggling to. So we call this a developmental league, correct, Scott? That's what we deem this.
Yeah.
A developmental league that is lacking in developing revenue. Yeah. So we'll see. I can't.
How much
Yeah,
are
we
the
do-
tickets?
Yeah.
I think they're $80.
Oh wow.
A seat?
I think so. Yeah.
That's,
Oh,
And that's discounted.
dude. Oh man, are
I'm
you
not
sitting at the
pay-
50-yard line like
I'm
the
not
10th
paying
row?
for
I
it.
hope so.
I'm not
Oh,
paying for
okay.
it.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Woof.
$87.50 per ticket. 25% discount. So section 111, row 19. So like we're all right, that's
Sounds good at least.
Yeah.
Row 19 is a nice row.
yeah, it's a great row. Not quite 18, but 19 still good. But yeah, it'll be a very exciting. I'll try and tweet out my experience. I know this town is loved them some Apollos football. Obviously, winning helps, but
I was going to say being 5-0 and just throttling everybody helps to get the attention.
Exactly. So, be a fun weekend. Fellas, it was good to get back on the air, and we apologize, junkies. It took us a little while. Sometimes this thing called life can be a little busy, especially when you're trying to get three people who, aren't always in the same area code to get on a podcast together. So we appreciate your patience. I know you've all missed
And we had the
us
golf
so much.
tournament last week.
Yeah, we had the golf tournament. So we appreciate your flexibility because I know you guys have just been so depressed that we haven't been able to give you your AAF
I just
talks.
miss the NFL so much.
I did get 2 texts asking where the AAF picks were.
There you go.
So there's at least 2 people that are that want them.
There are 2 people out there. So, fellas, any closing thoughts from you guys?
Yeah, we're kind of in the. I mean, this is the dog days of summer as far as football is concerned. Late spring or late winter, early spring, just before the draft. And then, we'll start getting into the previews, call it the late summer. So we'll keep riding this AAF train for a couple weeks, do the draft, and then
Draft time. Yeah.
Summertime, yeah.
I'm pumped for the draft. Let's get the schedules. Let's get it going for next season and see how the end of free agency goes here. And see some of these value signings. There's still some good players out there. Justin Houston still available.
Steve Ford.
He got
traded.
Yeah, he's in San Fran.
There's Eric Berry's now hit the market again, so there's some good value out there. I'm curious to see where some of these guys go.
Kansas City's defense, bad to worse.
Oh man,
woof.
I do like the Matthews signing for him, but they're going to be
that defense sucks.
So, that's, I guess, the closing thoughts then, huh? That's what we're rolling with. So I'll give a shout out to Jets fan. I don't even know, but he commented on the podcast. So he said, outstanding, comprehensive analysis of the NFL. So we appreciate it. That was back in January, and I haven't given a shout out for it yet. So thank you, Jets fan. Officially up to, so we've got 36 ratings. We are 5.0 out of 5 stars right now. No 1 stars, so whoever that guy was, all of our heckling eventually got to him, I guess. So, we are going to wrap this show up. Thanks again for listening. Don't be afraid to rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Tell a friend. We'd be very much appreciated. Like Jared said, that time of the year where basically it's hypothetical football. So, love to hear from you guys. I know we still got to get Kurt on the show. He texted me about it for his finishing in the bowl pick'em. But lots of fun things to come.
Invite closed. Sorry.
Invite closed. Oh,
you waited too long.
He's literally in my living room right now. I'll tell him.
Tell him, yeah. So you can tell him that from me.
Yeah. Sorry, junkies. Thanks so much for myself, Michael Larson, Jared Larson, and Scott Panza. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
See ya.